back there, her face will be popping up on the screen again later, which sounds more creepy than it is. But she's been helping out Ignite for years and just really loves giving back to the community. And so if you do need help with buying or selling a house, check out your girl. And also, I just learned a lot about I bought a house during that really low interest rate time. So, and I'm learning about finances every day, as we all should. All right. How was that for a transition, you guys? Solid. It was really good. I'm very excited to introduce our next speaker, coincidentally, who is I met through a financial group for women that I'm in. Last Ignite, Jen Ewan, who is the one that created the Pledgettes, she spoke about it. And Katy is also, I think, was one of the first members. She can tell you. Anyway, let's talk about her a little bit. And I love this. We discussed this over dinner. The one breakfast food that she would stick with forever would be grape nuts. Why? I know. There are several of us out there. Anybody else on Team Grape Nut? Okay. Well, sure, yeah, with all the sugar, that's fine. I mean, that's an option. She said, she made a commercial, grape nuts, full of fiber, great with yogurt, and pairs well with Palisade peaches. Grape nuts. Katy, it's amazing. And then she said, if Jackson and Abby, the TED Talk for her pets would be titled Food, which also I think is really introspective, and we would learn a lot from our dogs. Anyway, Katy's going to come out here and talk about the power of career breaks, and I know you're going to enjoy it, so please welcome Katy to the stage.
I wish I could have seen I just saw part of the Grape Nuts ad. So I have a confession to make. I am a quitter. And that might make some of you uncomfortable, but it's okay, I promise. There's a happy ending. You see, much like in Office Space, I too had endured the drudgery of corporate America for 15 years. I'd gone through the motions and I was trying to do my time, and frankly, I just couldn't put up with it anymore. I'd known for some time that that it had run its course, but it wasn't until September 15th of 2023 that I had my wake-up call. You see, after a particularly disturbing call with my boss that left me fuming mad, I decided no more. This is the day that I decide that I am quitting this job and I'm walking away. And thus began my 8-month process that became what I like to call my quitting journey. I used that time to plan, to prepare, and really to gain the courage that I would ultimately need to walk away from my job. I was able to save up money that I ultimately stowed away in what I called my freedom fund, and that ultimately helped as well. The universe continued to show me these signs like nothing without courage and assured me that it had my back. And I had trailblazers who'd blazed the way before me, and they assured me that I could do it and that everything would be okay. Now, don't get me wrong, fear was a steady companion during this process. I mean, after all, career breaks, that looks awful on a resume. Not to mention, what do you do about health insurance and what will people say? 15 years is a really long time. And yet, despite layoffs happening, a looming recession, all of these things, and knowing that people thought I was crazy, I ultimately had to do what I knew in my heart was the right decision for me. Shortly before giving notice, I sat down and I wrote myself a letter. What started off as kind of a reclamation of my freedom quickly turned into a love letter to myself. And in those pages, I assured myself and gave myself permission to quit. The day I decided to talk to my boss, I had written little notes down on pieces of paper of all the things I wanted to let go of. I made a fire and I burned those pieces of paper and watched them turn to ash. I took a picture of myself the day I quit. Mostly to remember how powerful I felt in this particular moment and to truly, this felt like reclamation in its truest form. So bear with me as I take a deep breath, as we hit the reset button and embark on a new chapter. You see, no more Sunday scaries, no more dark cloud blocking my sunshine. This was the beginning of a new era for me. So oftentimes people want to make the most of their time off. I found that it was crucial to stop, pause, reflect, and heal. You see, when you've been in a job that has zapped you and just led to really low self-esteem, you need to heal from that, and that's something people don't talk about. I have found great joy in my little capture book, which I've come to call it. In these pages, I just go crazy. This is a no judgment zone. I've got names of people I would want to interview for my non-existent podcast, entrepreneurs who inspire me and who I think can inspire others. I also have, wait for it, top secret entrepreneurial ideas. This is a side of myself I've never leaned into before. I've never considered myself an entrepreneur, but in those pages, I am capturing it all. So you never know what you might find in the future coming out of these pages. And maybe when I see a posting for a job, instead of automatically dismissing it, maybe I'll pause and consider it. I'm giving myself space and permission to think about things that I had never previously entertained. This particular book changed my life. It happened upon me at just the right time. And needless to say, as humans, we want to know how the story ends, but there's an opportunity cost to not moving, to seeing how the story ends. So why don't we, instead of working 40 of the best years of our lives, why don't we consider baking career breaks into our career plan? This is not a new concept, but this is one that I think I naturally gravitate to and I want to start planning for. So I'm here today to give you permission to explore, to consider a path that maybe you had dismissed before and not given much thought. I know I found that space to dream was really what ultimately led me to make the leap that I did. This particular song was my quit song. Don't be late to the fire, the artist urges. I took that as a literal call to action. Don't be late to the rest of your life. That was how I viewed it. Thank you very much.
People are leaving in all directions.